Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lifestyle with Dr. Moby. I'm Dr. Moby, and today we are honored with great guests. Let's welcome Shanna. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. And Shanna is all the way from California, right?
Yes.
Okay. Which part in California, Shanna?
Southern California. It's right around Newport Beach. Do you know that area?
I mean, I've been to San Jose and San Diego. Just
Yep. Close
to
to San Diego.
okay, close to San. Yeah, yeah. I've been to San Diego. Nice, very nice. So I'm sure it's gorgeous right now there, right?
It is. We're really lucky with our weather.
Okay. And let's have you introduce yourself about what you do to my podcaster or viewers.
Yes. So I am a manifestation coach and also a best-selling author. And I really support people on finding what more there is for life in them, to really activating their truth, right? Living a life that feels good to them, that feels authentic to them. And so I support people around the world through small group programs, through my book, through one-on-one coaching.
Yeah, very nice. So I want to ask you, this is it's a great field, and how did you start doing that? How did you start this part?
Yeah, I started, I had built a career in a completely different sector for years, which I somewhat enjoyed, but didn't feel like it was exactly what I was meant to be doing. And I went through a process of really asking myself, like, is there more than this life that I've built? And through that inquisition into my own life, I discovered there was, and I started to share what I was learning. And of course, people, felt the same. I learned I wasn't the only person feeling this way. And that really was the natural progression into supporting people in their, authentic journeys and really building a life that feels good to them.
Okay, great. And I see that you wrote here you were obsessed with chocolate chip cookies.
Yes, for years, in a lot of ways, like I used food as a comfort, as something that, to kind of tune out the things that didn't feel good in my life. And so I share a little bit about that journey and how I kind of transformed that for myself.
So was there any stepping stone, or was there any particular time in your life that you realized that this is not what you should be doing?
Yeah, I around the time that my son was born, he's going to be 9 this year. That was a big milestone for me when I kind of started looking around and saying, how do I really teach my son how to live an authentic and fulfilling life if I really haven't mastered that myself? And so that was a moment where I started really asking myself the bigger questions, like, what do I, what feels good to me? How do I want to be living my life? What do I want to create? And that just caught fire from there. And, there was just more questioning and more changes I wanted to make in my life.
Mm-hmm. And when you realized that, did you think of maybe going backwards? Is what time really your life changed from whatever pattern you had before to the pattern you had before the change?
You're saying, when did that happen?
No, like I know you said it was about your child's birth. That time you realized that you need to change, but I'm saying was there a time when you actually changed to that lifestyle way back?
It was around that time I started. I moved out of left my last career. I started, it was an idea for a period of time, and then I started taking action on the idea. So I moved out of the house that we had, and we kind of downsized for a while to just figure out what was next and how we wanted to, live our life going forward. And I really wasn't sure what I was going to do. I actually left my last career prior to even knowing that I would build another business. And so I had about a year period of time of just kind of looking within, right? And deciding what I wanted to do. And then I started coaching people. I started doing it first in person. So I had an in-person practice that was very local. And now, I have an international online business.
Okay, very nice, very nice. So I think important thing is for everyone to realize that, a lot of people actually, the reason I'm asking that, a lot of people get carried away in their kind of change lifestyle with the stress and so forth, and they think that is the normal, you know. So we all have, I mean, I've been there. So you go into that state where you think whatever is happening around you is that is the new norm. But
Mhm.
then there is something goes wrong, you really hit bottom, and then you realize, no, this is not what I wanted or where I should be in my life. Then you turn around, right? So I was trying to catch that and see. You said you had some stresses, and maybe the food, the chocolate chip, was a way to minimize that, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of things that we do to minimize our stresses, right? And when we ultimately don't really love our life or love what we're doing, there's all kinds of ways that we soothe ourselves, and I talk a lot about them in my book.
Yeah.
And we don't tend to link those things up, like we don't know why, we do some of the behaviors we do. But what I've discovered from coaching people for years is that when we don't feel good in our life, when we're not inspired by what we do, when we're not feeling like, we can be authentically who we are,
Hmm.
then there's many ways that we cover up, those feelings and those emotions. And there's many ways that we soothe ourselves, right, through that.
Hmm. And that is, I think here is your very important 10 things you said that make me.
Yeah.
So that's that those are the now I see a lot of our patients and everybody, they call us, and I think the problem happens is they many times they get confused and they don't know what they want. So like you put those 10 points or your things you really want, right? And so you're going to then try to achieve that, or at least you recognize that's what your strength was, right?
Yes. And I think a lot of times we feel confused on what we actually even want. We might know
Yeah.
what we don't want, but we're not even sure what we want. And so that can be a process of discovery as well.
Yeah. So it's basically discovering yourself, pretty much self discovery.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
and so like you said, is that you love dance, and then you love your family, so those are the ones actually you realize those are your strengths, and you realize that actually is, if you are stressed, you rather do that, right?
Yes, definitely. If you know what you like and what you want and what makes you feel good, the rest of the stuff kind of falls away, all those behaviors when you're living your own intentions.
Hmm. Hmm. And so you basically navigated from eating cookies to these 10, 10 points, right?
Yes.
Yes, and then you kind of worked on that, and that helped you to get your life back to normal, right?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me also about what time did you write your book? Was the same time?
I started the book in 2016, and really just to write kind of what I've been through and what my story was, what I had discovered, what other people, have discovered in transformation, for people that, are asking the bigger questions in their life. And the book was released in 2018.
Oh, okay, 2018. Okay, very nice. And then also you have tell me about a little bit about your media. You said you do a lot of talking and you do a lot of work helping to educate.
Yeah, I mean, I do lots of different shows and virtual workshops as of most recent, just to get the word out. There's definitely, over the past year, people have been evaluating their life
Yeah.
and really looking at, what am I going to take forward? What am I not going to take forward? How do I want to change my life? I mean, we've had a real opportunity to look at our lives in a different way. And so just getting the message out that it's nothing to be afraid of, to look into your life. It's there's only goodness on the other side of asking yourself the big questions and discovering who you really are.
Mhm. And so when somebody tries to reach your services, so that's what your plan is, right? Phase one, you've mentioned about relaxation and activation, right?
Yeah, just helping people to release the things that are not feeling good in their life, right? So whether that's, anything from food to relationships to a career to anything that just no longer is serving your life,
Hmm.
and to really develop and manifest what's next for you.
Hmm. And then also, I want to ask you about, how long is your program usually for?
I have a small group program that I launch a few times a year. The next one's in the fall, and that is a 6-week program. And then people that work with me one-on-one either work with me for 3 months or 6 months.
Okay, 3 months or 6 months, and tell me a little bit about what things can. I'm sure you have done a lot of these, and then what things you think people can benefit a lot from this, or expectation wise. What do you think they should have expect out of this program?
Just to get clear on what they want to do going forward in life, to understand, sometimes we just don't know what the next steps are. We don't know what's possible for us. And so we get really powerfully clear on what the next steps are, how you want to live your life, defining, who
Hmm.
you are, what's your truth, what you really believe in,
Hmm.
and what you want to take forward. And then the really practical action steps of how to do that, right?
Uh-huh.
Sometimes we once we identify what we want, we're then not sure how to get there.
Hmm. And this you have probably summarized it very well here. So basically, deepest truths and basically integrate into your life and then release. So these are your 4 pillars, all of your tools, which start with, right?
Yes, the 4 pillars are truth, release, experience, and align. And this is the way that we shift our vibrational frequency, and this is the way we change our lives.
Hmm. And also tell me briefly, what do you think? Do you also do a lot of coaching on their food and eating lifestyle, or is this understanding of that?
Not specifically, so we don't go into foods and things of that nature.
Hmm.
But food is just one aspect of the way that we, soothe ourselves when we're disconnected. So those conversations come up as kind of tertiary subjects in the work that I do, but it's not the central focus.
So it's not the same, but your is more to deal with the stress and to discover yourself, and then to kind of going forward the plan, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So tell me also about, I think there is a lot of things about relationships and emotions. We touched a little bit about that. How important is that for somebody to in lifestyle?
It's paramount. So our relationships cause us either a lot of joy or a lot of stress, right? They are the main source. How we interact with other people is the main source of our emotional states of being. And if we don't feel good in our life, if we're not experiencing, high frequency emotions, which are things like joy and love and connection, but we're only experiencing low frequency emotions like shame and guilt and sadness and disconnection, then it affects every area of your life, right? It doesn't matter if you are feeling that just with work, it's going to pour over into your personal home life as well. So we
Mhm.
have to start to understand our emotions and how we feel, our states of being each day.
Mhm. And so tell me, there are a lot of things, of course, with COVID happen. Um, what has changed in your experience with COVID? Is that, I'm sure, getting worse, same, or your need has gone really up to the roof?
Personally or in my profession?
Both.
For me, this experience was a really expansive experience. I know it wasn't for most people, but I think a lot of people started evaluating their life. My business grew during this time, so I've been very busy helping people in that inner inquisition over
Mhm.
the past year. I think this is part of humanity waking up to certain things, at a very high level. When we look at it, certainly there's many other things going on, but it was an opportunity for all of us to stop and to really evaluate our lives. And I think that many times we're busy and we're not doing that, we're not asking the bigger questions. So for that alone,
Mhm.
that certainly we wouldn't wish this experience on anyone, but it happened. And it gave us a chance to learn about ourselves. And so I've been, really engaged in supporting people that are wanting to dive deeper into that.
Mhm. And so there are, I think, two important aspects of COVID, which I always say. One was physical, of course, we get sick, and we get end up in hospital. But the other was also big amount was the fear, the desperation, the kind of sadness. It was really pulling a lot of families down, right? All of
Yeah.
us, pretty much, right? And to deal with that, it needed a lot of strength in terms of and there will be still, we are so scarred, I think, kids and adults and everybody, so scarred from all that trauma, not
Yeah.
seeing and not missing all that. So that is really the, I mean, the number of death cases and so forth, those have plummeted great. But all that trauma which we experience, that's still there, unfortunate, right? And that is going to take a long time to heal.
Yep. And people need a lot of support to move through that.
Okay. And so I think, what things you think we can emphasize so people continue to do that with pandemics?
Well, I think, one of the invitations of this whole situation is to understand our emotions, right? And to be able to express our emotions. Like, it doesn't do us any good to hold those in, and to know how to express our emotions in a healthy way, right? Like by allowing our emotions to flow, and how to be in a safe place, right? Get support, get help, get people who understand. There was many things that triggered a lot within all of us, like you spoke about
Hmm.
over the last year. And we are feeling beings, right? That's what we do as human beings. And many times in life, we learn to turn off our feelings or shut them down or suppress them. And, that's not healthy.
And do you think, with what we were really missing was also, I think, before COVID, and one good thing out of COVID, and many things maybe good thing, is that realization that your best and the most important things, most important relations, should get preference, right? Which is take care of your body, healthy lifestyle, because we've seen that, people who had medical issues, who had were not living the best, healthier lifestyle, they had the worst outcomes, complication wise. So bottom line is we have to take care of our health, right?
Absolutely.
And the second is take care of the loved ones, because we were quarantined, and we were, actually, most couples and the families uh, had nobody but their loved ones, right? And then if they didn't have good relations, or if there was strain, then unfortunately that broke down.
Exactly.
And then the time we were not spending before, this gave us opportunity actually to spend time with kids and family. And maybe now a lot of people discovering that was the best thing ever.
Oh, it was, I mean, for that aspect of it is phenomenal, right? And it's causing people to make different choices in their daily life to spend more time together.
Yeah, and also, I think there will be some, of course, changes. There was less traffic, and then we realized that, and for me too, that how much time we spend on road and travel time, and how stressful was that for all of us. So, and that portion, once that was gone, I see a lot of my clients. They look like different persons. They are
Yeah.
more relaxed. They didn't have. I called a couple of patients. They're not no longer on anxiety medication, because they said, maybe that cycle, too much stress at workplace and travel, all that is gone. So that was blessing.
That is a blessing.
Yeah, so that was bad. But of course, there was financial implication. A lot of people didn't have money, or hard to survive. A lot of industries got hit, sure. But one thing for sure, the human race, is actually can overcome a lot of pandemics and came back stronger and better. And that's what our story's always been. And this pandemic will leave behind, and will move on and learn new ways and do better next time, right?
Yes, I hope so. I mean, we're very adaptable, right? We
Yeah.
survive and we adapt, and that's a beautiful thing.
And that is a beautiful thing. So looking forward, 2021 and rest of 2021, 2022 onwards. So any plans?
Yes, I'm starting on a second book. We're going to be launching a brand new website soon, so we have some new things coming out for people. We've been busy behind the scenes.
Okay, great. So see that's a lot of things. A lot of my friends, they actually took the time to reorganize and kind of plan when things open up, exactly like you're saying. Revamp their thoughts, and maybe second book, and then maybe website and so forth. So so I'm sure people will be really looking for all that, because they had so much stress to deal with. So any final thoughts you have?
No, just keep asking yourself the big questions. Focus on your health, and live a life that feels good to you.
Okay, and you can all check her website, and this is the web address at the bottom here. And like she said, it's very important to discover and take care of yourself, and then actually that's the only way you can help. And then the directions are clear; those rest actually follow from there. Thank you for coming to our show. Take care and have a good evening.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye
Bye.
bye.